Hey, this is Andy Jenkins with the Oily App Podcast. In this episode, we're going to actually talk about cleaning your house first. Now, goodness, with essential oils and with vitamins and supplements and with shakes and protein powders and all of the other things that we do, it's so easy to look at health as if health is just things that you intentionally ingest, like things that you eat or things that you rub on your body, like lotions and potions and shampoos and oils. But here's what's incredible. As Jim Bob and I were talking, he actually said, when we were putting together the text for this book, it's all based on the All Things Thieves book that we put together. I'll put the links in the show notes because it's available in English, and Gladys and Jocelyn they've translated that thing to Espanol, so it's available in Spanish as well. When we were putting all this together, he said, one of the first things that people need to do for overall health and wellness is they actually need to start cleaning their home. Now you think about it, and I know you clean your house, but if you're using chemicals to clean your house, and you worry about the organic foods that you eat or don't eat, you worry about the lotions and the shampoos and the conditioners and things you use on your body, but yet you walk across floors that have been cleaned with chemically laden, let's just say, quote, cleaners. So you've just toxified the biggest part of your environment. And a lot of times we get really worried about the pollution outside. We can't control all of that. We can control some of it, and we should all do our part, but you have absolute total control of everything that happens inside the four walls of your home. And so in this series, All Things Thieves, we've been talking about how if you're using Thieves only as an essential oil, you're missing 95% of it. You're missing the bulk of the immune support that this powerhouse product could be offering you. In this is number 3 of a 4-part series on Thieves. Jim Bob's actually going to talk about the household cleaner. Now, I know that sounds like that's such a boring topic for a podcast, right? We're going to talk about household cleaner. And he's going to bring it down and tell you and teach you why, from a health perspective, this is important. If you got kids going through puberty, if you got men with low testosterone, if you got women and your cycles and all that kind of stuff it's kind of off, you might want to look not just at what you're eating, not just at the personal care products that you're using, but actually look at how you're taking care of your home. All right, so here we go. Let me roll right into it. I'll be back after with some more tips, tricks, and some free info for you.
Simplicity of how to use the products, the simplicity of what to use first, the simplicity of what the product is, all these things I think is going to really help people.
I dropped my phone, man.
They're in here. Awesome. Okay. All right. Andy, how do you think that people get the most mixed up on this part? I'm going to talk about how I recommend people to use it first because I think it's different. But, I mean, what do you think?
I think they get the most mixed up, number one, because they don't use it, because you get that bottle of Thieves and you're getting stuck and you're like, man, I don't even know what to do with this. It's got a weird name. It's got a cool story, but you got to get the story and then know more. And then you get this one. I take this just about every single day with Ninja Red, 2 to 4 ounces. I diffuse it sometimes, in the bedroom. I roll it on the bottoms of my feet, but that's kind of like, that seems to be the extent. But I know that Young Living has all this other stuff. Okay, so I use this, but like sometimes I think it's using that because we're members of Young Living. Okay, right. And same thing here, toothpaste. Oh, we should probably buy our own stuff, right? So that's that. Mouthwash. Oh, we should probably buy our own stuff. So maybe enlighten me on.
Well, here's the thing. I think that people really do focus on all the things around their sink. I think they focus on their supplements and like the oils because, think about this. We are in a culture that is really focused on doing things to ourselves. Like, oh, we take supplements, we take medicine, we take oils, we do all these things, we take vitamins, we eat certain food. So, people are really good at focusing on those things. That's something that we
slap the word organic on it, people don't care what it is, man. Organic beans, organic juice, organic socks.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know about socks.
Like people will buy organic wool pajamas from Whole Foods because they know that is really important. And then they walk around the house and they do things around the house and walk on chemicals that they've cleaned their floor with. They have hardwood floors that they've shined with chemicals, or they've cleaned their bathroom at toxic stuff, because just like we've been trained to do things in a way of like, oh, I want to add in a supplement or this, add things to ourselves. We've also been trained by generations of our family on just what we clean our house with. It's just, you use what you use because that's what everybody's used. So the thing that I like to teach people first, and I think this is a great way to intro people into using Thieves and to get them involved in the company. And this is actually the only way that we used the Thieves products at all when we became members for over 6 years. Totally another video. That's another video. But
sitting on the box on the refrigerator.
Yeah, exactly. Like we literally left our box in the back of the kitchen. But I teach everybody to clean your house with it first. So the thing I like to teach on is just like it says on this is we focus so much of what we're doing on our body or in our body, but then we forget that everything that we touch rubs off. Like everything that we touch. So you have little kids, and this is the thing that makes me cringe. People are like, oh my gosh, I'm like so excited to get little Susie this organic onesie or these awesome little like shoes that are perfect for them. And they're the new like ones that like have no sole, so they can feel all of the different things on their feet. It's better for their brain. And then they clean their floor with Pine Sol, or they clean the windows with 409 or whatever their thing is. And they're little kids crawling around on the floor and licking the floor. I'm like, oh my gosh, like if I can get people to just clean the house, let's just start off with cleaning the house, because health is so much about, think about this. Health is about two things, like keeping bad things out and good things in. That's it. It's really that simple. And so like we talk about in the book that there's only 2 reasons why the body doesn't do what it's supposed to. Too much bad gets in and not enough good stays in. So much of health is going the other way, getting bad out and keeping good in and adding more good in. Well, what better way to start people on a wellness journey, to start their family down the pathway of health and wellness, than to help teach them the things that are adding so many toxins to their everyday world, to their everyday environment that they actually have control of around them, not, out there, but right here. Then taking out the toxins in their home and utilizing a product like the Thieves Household Cleaner that, Andy, as you know, it'll clean anything. Like it cleans it all.
Well, that's a great point, because here's what I was looking for. I was telling you, like, we eat off the floor. That's like my little kid's favorite picture of himself. I don't know if you can see that, where, literally he's got a stack of cookies on the floor, and he's literally using the stairs that we all walk across as his plate. I called him and didn't stop him. I just took a photo. Yeah. Here's the other thing about that too is, okay, so if you hand me this bottle of oil 5 years ago, I'm like, what do I do with it?
Right.
Now, if you hand me this laundry detergent, I'm not saying I would do anything with it, but I'm saying I know what you do with it. Right. I know how to do this. So there's already this onboarding, if you're building a team and you're doing the business where people understand how to use this in some sense.
Well, yeah, it's an easy button. You're saying, hey, you're already cleaning your house. Hopefully you're already doing laundry. You're already cleaning the dishes. Those are things that you have to do. It's just normal. Right. It's just normal things. Yeah, you're going to brush your teeth. So why don't we do it with something that is infused with the very blend that we talked about in video number 2, when we talked about the secret sauce that is incredible synergistically, like working together as a team and boosting immunity by adding good things in and keeping bad things out.
Okay, so I can think of all kinds of reasons like why I would use this other stuff. Like, for instance, if you want your kid to wash their hands after they pee in the toilet, to get presumably the pee off their hands, but then you put toxic soap on their hands, have you really helped them? Pee's not killed pee stuff, but those chemicals in the toxic soap has.
Yeah, exactly. It makes absolutely no sense. Ooh, you got pee on your hands. Now here, let me give you Dial and let me like squirt some toxic chemicals on your hands. Like if we had it the other way and we're like, no, ooh, the soap is gross, ooh, and it was switched. There's nothing, nobody that's getting sick off of the other. It's just a matter of like using our heads about the things that are the most important.
explain that about the house, because I'm envisioning some kid walking through the house barefoot, and the same stuff that makes lavender work on the bottom of your feet when you rub it on the body, where it goes on your skin, goes in your body, that makes the bad stuff work too. So
absolutely.
You're eating 5-second rule, all this kind of stuff is going in. Maybe explain to all of us, just in terms of kind of the pee hands, is that better than the toxins on the hands kind of example? What do household chemicals do with the cleaning issue?
Well, when you're in Young Living, those of you who have been in Young Living a while, you understand that the mechanism of the way that essential oils work, and we'll talk about this more in another video, is that they are like microscopic, tiny particles that can get through the layering of the skin into the bloodstream and get carried around the body. Well, toxic chemicals and heavy metals and things like that can get into the body and into the bloodstream as well, but from a totally different reason. But it soaks in the exact same direction. It gets in the exact same way by getting into the skin, not because they're super microscopic ninjas, but because they're giant bulldozers, and because they're so heavy and they're so abrasive, and the body doesn't know what to do with them, that it'll literally soak through the skin, your largest organ, right? Gets into the bloodstream and gets carried. And those toxic chemicals, there's a couple of different problems with them. They cause problems themselves because they are toxic, right? It's like putting diesel in a gasoline engine. Just by definition of doing that, and it's not supposed to be in there, it will harm the engine. But the second thing is that the toxic chemicals that you get in your body get in the way of the good things that are supposed to be there. So there's different chemical hormones that are in most of these cleaners. This is the biggest thing. This is what I teach on all the time. And for those of you guys who are Oily App Plus members, and hopefully all of you guys are, but if you are, you will see a video that we have in Oily App Plus where I talk about the Thieves household cleaner and why I am so passionate, especially if you have young girls, on switching to the Thieves household cleaner, because all of your chemicals, all of your commercial chemicals have specific chemical hormone compounds in them. Well, the fake hormones get in the way and sit in the seat of normal hormones where they're supposed to connect, all right? And they get in the way, so a good hormone can't get there. A bad hormone stays there, and it will stay too long. It will cause havoc, and it will fire that pathway too much. And now you've got an overproduction and an issue in a hormone pathway that you never should have had before. If that happens for a day or two, that's one problem. If that happens for decades, now we've got a lot of problems going on. And so just being able to switch out a family's cleaner from all the toxic stuff under the sink that they had to that one bottle of the Thieves household cleaner will literally change generations of their family as far as their health and as far as the way that their hormones function.
What's like maybe something that you've seen, and I know you're not like just what's the story from the trenches, something that this could potentially cause that?
Well, we talked about one thing in the book. We talked about, in our office, we saw mainly kids, right? We saw kids under 5, and we saw a lot of pregnant moms. Now, during pregnancy, most of you, of the women in here, if you have been pregnant, you know that one of the things that they teach in pregnancy the most is, hey, now you're carrying, you're eating for 2, you're living for 2. So now it's really important because anything that you get exposed to can get to the baby and yada, yada, yada. Right. Well, that's very true. And so one of the things that we've always taught is like, hey, be really careful the amount of toxins you're around because it can affect the baby. Well, we had a little girl who came into the office, and once I talked to doctors in the area, we found out that this was very common. Like, it was not common to me. We didn't know this, but this was a very common scenario. We had a little girl come in the office who had already started into puberty at 3 years old. Because when you look at little girls, if you increase fake estrogens and you increase fake hormones, you can push them into puberty and into their menstrual cycle way early. Whereas with boys, it goes the other way. I mean, it actually prevents them from going in, and it keeps them out of puberty longer because boys really need testosterone. So we had a little girl at 3 years old. I mean, I called a local doctor at the time and I said, hey, I think there's something really wrong here. And I think I am wrong. But my wife and I both checked this little girl, and we really think this is what's happening. And the doctor goes, oh, yeah, said we get 3, 4, 6-year-olds in here all the time that have already started into puberty and started their cycle. And we were just like,
this was common. This was not like an isolated story.
Yeah, this is very common. Like, this happens a lot. And when we really started quizzing her and her staff, she said, most of it is toxic exposure generationally during pregnancies and before, and it just gets carried down because, like we talked about, when you come in contact with these toxins, just like heavy metals, they don't want to get out. It's not like drinking water and then you're going to go urinate and pee it out later on. A toxic chemical is going to attach to a tissue in the body or attach to an organ or a muscle or a part of the brain or whatever it is that it likes the best because it wants to stay there because it needs something to stabilize it. So it's just really important. And it's something that I think that the Thieves Household Cleaner is a generational view product. Like, you have long vision with the Thieves Household Cleaner, even though you are literally like short vision cleaning the toilet right now. You're using it not because necessarily the toilet is dirty right now or the sink. You're using it because the next generation and your grandkids and your great grandkids, you want them to be able to clean that same bathroom, but also be healthy and be happy and whole.
And so, and I know we don't have time to get into it right here. It'd be a topic of maybe another month of stuff altogether, but you started getting into stuff like epigenetics and stuff right here, turning certain things on, turning certain things off, and the expression of what happens with you and other people. And it's a huge deal. So maybe like some of you who are wanting to learn more, just kind of go research epigenetics right there. I guess kind of the final thing I would say on this one is a lot of people are rightly so environmentally conscious about what goes on out there. Like I'm downtown right now, and there's, a lot of smog and pollution and all that. And we're trying to watch out for those things, and we're planting trees and all these kind of things. And that makes a lot of sense. And we do need to take proactive measures on that right now for our kids. The reality is all of that out there, I don't have complete control over what goes on outside there. I can do my part and should do my part. So don't misread that. Inside the four walls of my house, I pretty much have complete control.
Exactly.
So we worry about the environment out there, but yet, we can 100% control what happens inside the four walls.
It's exactly right. And, Kelly just said it. She said, it makes me want to remove all things from my house. I'm not completely switched over yet, but I want to be. Here's the thing that I tell people who tell me that they're not completely switched over. What I tell people to do, like this, it is this important. People are like, well, I want to, because of this control that you're talking about, Andy, they're like, well, I want to do what I can in my house, but I want to do it over time. No, don't do it over time. Like, the thing that I tell people is immediately go into your kitchen, get a giant box, and get a mask on with rubber gloves, drag everything out from underneath the kitchen sink, put it in that big box, go into your bathroom, get everything that is not a Young Living product back into that box. Keep your mask on, don't take it off, take it all out to the dumpster and dump it in the dumpster tonight and get rid of it. And that's the best thing you could possibly do. It's just like if someone's smoking, and they're like, man, I really want to get healthy. I'm just doing it one thing at a time. So I'm walking a lot. I'm just still smoking. We're like, no, just stop smoking, because immediately your body is better by not having that one toxic burden, that one chemical in your environment. That's exactly like in the house. Like you smoking, it would almost be better for your kids for you to smoke than you use some of these toxic chemicals in there. So it's literally that idea of get it all out. And I think Yeah. And I think this graphic right here that you made, Andy, which I love, is a really good thing to think about, because they're like, well, how do I do it? It's like, well, there's the control in your home. There's three main areas that Thieves, just to think about to be able to get it into your house.
All right. So that's this. Start with your house. Video number 4 is coming up. And in video number 4, we're going to break down a lot of these products and give you some of the top uses that you can do right now and make this super, super simple. So sign off, refresh your page. We'll be right back.
One thing I will say, because they did say something I think that is really important, and we do talk about this in the book, and it's a really great point. They said, hey, we would totally do that and trash it, but it's the finances of it or affording it. Dude, the Thieves Cleaner is so much more affordable than all the stuff under the sink. In the book, we literally, Andy and I went through and did a cost analysis per serving of all of it compared to all these different cleaners. And it's actually a lot more affordable than you think. And so that's another great reason to look at it, but we totally get it. We totally get that finances are a factor for everyone. And so it's something to really look at. But it's something that'll take the place of all these cleaners. So, all right, we're ending this one. We'll be back with video number 4 in a few minutes.
All right, that's mind-boggling information, isn't it? And now I know you're like kind of going, all right, let's get the Thieves and let's get on it. Now, by the way, I tell people this all the time. We talk repeatedly about the 21-day challenge and how you can move from essential oil newbie to essential oil ninja. As part of that, we actually talk about every oil that's in the premium starter kit, the essential oils version. And because Young Living sends it to you, they send you it's not even a sample of Thieves household cleaner. I mean, it is concentrated, so it is enough to add water to a big bottle and to make one full bottle of Thieves cleaner. They send that to you when you order a premium starter kit. And so we actually talk about Thieves household cleaner in the 21-day challenge. Let me tell you somewhere else that you can go to get information about Thieves household cleaner. I'll put the links down to all of this in the show notes below. You can go get the 67 uses for Thieves. Now, it's a PDF. It's right there, absolutely, totally, completely free. It's in the back of the All Things Thieves book if you have it, but we'll give you that section totally free. When I was looking and studying for Thieves a couple years ago, I found a book that had 300-400 uses for Thieves, something like that, and I started looking through it, and I thought, man, all of these are the same use. I mean, if one use is to wipe your kitchen counter, and another use is to wipe the bathroom counter, and another one is to wipe the laundry room counter, like that's one use. Just wipe all your counters. And then they had said, hey, here's like 4 more uses. Wash the bathroom doors, wash the front door, wash the living room door, wash the bedroom door. I was like, no, that's one use. So this isn't a conflated list. This is not a blown up list. This is a super duper easy, practical. It tells you about dilution ratios. It tells you hacks that you can use Thieves spray for. It tells you things you can use the oil for, things you can use the cleaner for, things you can use the toothpaste for. All kinds of tips and tricks that are kind of unknowns that are going to show you the breadth and depth and scope of all things Thieves. That's it. I'm Andy Jenkins signing off. I'll be back with the final episode about Thieves next week.